It's because you're addicted to average. Now, oh nah, Trent, not me. I'm not addicted to average. I go hard. I do this. You're addicted to average. And when you're addicted to average, you will never live in greatness. This is facts. An average tree doesn't bear legendary fruit. Quote that. An average tree doesn't bear legendary fruit. When you do average things, you're going to get average results. And the problem is, a lot of us think we can just go through the motions. We can do what everybody else is doing and expect to get what few got. It doesn't work like that.
I can easily tell you, I'm a top motivational speaker.
Trent Shelton now sharing the life lessons he learned.
I can easily tell you, I played in the NFL, and I'm a Baylor legend.
Trent Shelton, touchdown, Baylor!
I can easily tell you, I have over 10 million followers and over 1 billion video views. I can easily tell you, I travel all across the world and inspire people.
Love each other, man, period. At the end of the day, we all going to the same place, straight up.
But I'm not here to impress you with numbers. I'm here to impact your life. So if you're ready to make the world respect your greatness, tell the person sitting next to you, it's rehab time. Let's get it.
Welcome to today's episode of Straight Up. Today is episode number, I'm not even sure what the number, I'm gonna be real. Today's my birthday. That's the number. Today is my birthday. For you guys that are watching me on YouTube or listening to me through audio, some of y'all be like, Trent, we know you. Some of you, this might be your first time. So my name is Trent Shelton. I'm a former NFL player. You heard the intro. But I am a global connector. What is a connector? I want to be able to connect you to three things. I want to connect you to your purpose, I want to connect you to your peace, and I want to connect you to your power. How do I do that? Through content, through podcasts, through books, through speaking on stages, through coaching, all of those things. That is my mission, to connect you to the greatest you. Today, you clicked on this because of the title, or maybe just listen to the episodes already because you're subscribed to it. But today is going to get real. I know I've been kind of MIA with the podcast for a good reason. I've been connected to something deeper so I can bring this to the world. But we're going to start off like this. Listen, everybody has their definition of success. I'm not here to tell you this should be your definition of success, but I feel success is actually just using your life, right, to do what you want, to bring that goodness to the world, to bring your gift to the world, to walk into your calling. To me, that is success. And AKA, I think the biggest success is time freedom. And this is why I say this. There are a lot of people who are wealthy. A lot of people have millions of dollars, but they don't have time because they spend their whole entire life slaving away their life to their dream, to their purpose, to their job, right? Self-employed or not self-employed. And they have no time to do the things they love with those that they love. And I realized this, I realized I was successful last week. You might say, Trent, you should have been doing that. You've been doing this for a while. Yeah, if I'm talking about the things, the shiny things, yeah, that could be, oh, I have followers, I have this, I have that. But I really realized I was successful last week. It was 3:45 p.m. in the afternoon. I am in bleachers. I have an umbrella on the text because it's hot. I don't want to get tan anymore. I'm sunburnt. And I'm watching my sons practice. Some of y'all might be like, okay, how does that make you successful? I look around the bleachers. I look around. I don't see many parents there. I definitely don't see many fathers there. And it hit me. I said, man, this is the life. I see my son look at me. I see his friends say, hey, look, it's your dad. And I seen the sense of pride and honor that he had when his friend said that. He looked at me and he waved. And I know how proud that made him feel to see his father at his practice. This is what I work for. It's not for the accolades. It's not for the shiny things. Those things are cool. It's to be able to have time freedom to support my kids, to be able to do the things that I love. I remember when I was little, when I would see my dad at my practice and my games, man, it would just make me feel great to know my dad was there. That's what I want for you, right? If all the other things come, great. But I want you to have time freedom in your life because time freedom equals fulfillment. When you spend time doing the things that you love with those that you love, supporting who you love, that sense of fulfillment fulfills your soul. So today, I want to just talk about 3 reasons why you're not successful. It might be a lot of reasons, right? You might be lazy, you might have fear, all the things that people talk about that I also talk about. But I feel like these 3 things aren't really touched on a lot. And I think that if you can start connecting to these 3 things and understanding these 3 things, it could change your freaking life where you can have that time free, where you're not being a slave to even your dreams, y'all. Like again, like some of us, we are living the dream, but literally we are living a dream that's taking away all our time. We're burnt out, we're tired, we're working, 23 hours a day, team no sleep, and you're not able to enjoy your life. You're sitting there literally making a living, but you're not living. I don't want that for you. So let's start with number 1. And listen, you got to wear your tough skin today. As you see, I'm very passionate right now. I wish I could turn this down and talk with more peace, but this means so much to me. I'm connected to my heart right now, so hopefully I connect with yours. Number 1, the reason you might not be successful is that you're connected to comparison. Let me take my time on this one. Most of us, including myself, right? We get this cell phone and we are scrolling. Social media has programmed us to compare our life more than ever. We are looking out for reasons to discredit ourselves. We are looking out for reasons to make us feel like we're not enough. And we do this on a daily basis where you know you do it or you don't know you do it. You are doing it on a daily basis. And when you're connected to comparison, you automatically disconnect from your clarity. You automatically disconnect from what's pure to you. And so many of us, we do this on a daily basis. We look out and say, oh, my gift isn't special because I'm not doing it like that. Or I should dress like this. Or I should talk like that because, my relationship should be like this. And you're literally programming yourself with confusion. When you're connected to comparison and you disconnect from clarity in your life, you're connected to confusion. And that's why so many of us are so confused. We don't know what to do. It's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to give to the world. One of the things that I've done, and I still do this today, that really helped my life and really changed a lot in my life and what I do, I didn't have an example to compare first and foremost. I say, you know what? I picture myself on an island. I want you to do this right now. Picture yourself on an island. Nobody's around. Nobody has any opinion about you. Nobody has any judgment. Nobody has any say-so. Nobody can shoot down your dreams, your vision. Nobody can tell you that you're corny, you're stupid, you're funny, you're hilarious. Nobody can tell you nothing. What is that thing that is pure to you in your soul that you want to do with your life? How do you want to show up in the world that's pure to you? Not how social media convince you to show up. Not how opinions convince you to show up. Yeah, I'm getting it right here, man. Y'all got to create a reel out of this one. Use the audio. Not how people's judgments convince you to show up. Not how your past convince you to show up. Not how what's popular convince you to show up. How do you want to show up in the world that is pure to you? When I started in this space, I didn't want to wear a suit. That wasn't pure to me. I wanted to be tatted up. I wanted to have dreads. I wanted to have a hat on. I wanted to wear Jordans on stage with ripped up jeans with a t-shirt. My t-shirt right now has Selena. Shout out to Selena. I'm a Texas boy. I wanted to show up like this because this is what was pure to me. And if I know if I operate in what's pure, I connect in a real way. But a lot of us, we don't show up in what's pure. We wonder why we have disconnection. We wonder why we don't connect with our message. We wonder why we don't connect with our gift. We wonder why we connect with our product. We wonder why we don't connect with our business because we're not doing something that's pure. Social media has forced us to live in a world full of duplicates. You look at social media, there's no originality no more. Everybody's doing what everybody is doing. Everybody is copying what everybody is copying because it's working for them, so it must work for me. And we wonder why we never connect on a high level. We wonder why we don't separate ourselves because we're blending in when we're meant to stand out. So the question I have to you is like, what's pure to you? That you're allowing comparison to take away from that. I can even tell you with myself. I remember when I first got in this space of being a speaker on stage. I wanted to be the nice guy. Plus, I wanted to do it too. There's a lot of people I looked up to. I wanted to hear speak. So I would be maybe even 3 years into this space. I was starting to be the closer. Right? People would bring me to close the event down. What I would do is I would go, quote unquote, support other speakers. So I would sit there and I would listen to information, listen to their speech. And I'm going to tell you what happened. That made me connected to comparison because I would sit there, even though my intentions were great, I was learning, but it was getting me in my head. And as I was sitting there, I was saying, oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about this later on because they're talking about this. Even though my way of talking about it is different, right? We coming from a pure place. Two people can talk about the same things and hit in different ways. Then I started to think, man, well, maybe I should talk about this because the audience responded to theirs like this. And it got me in my head and out of my heart. And when I went on stage, I would realize I was way in my head. I was disconnected from clarity. I was connected to confusion because I was comparing my life so much. And then I got to a point where I stopped doing it. I wasn't rude, disrespectful. I would stay in my hotel room upstairs until it was time for me to speak. Or I would stay backstage and put on my headphones and listen to what I need to listen to get me ready. And so I knew when I stepped on stage like today, I'm connected to my heart. And when you connect from your heart, side note, the coaches and the speakers that I coach and I train, I tell them the best thing that you can do is come from the heart. Connectedness is your superpower when you're connected to the right things, because when you connect with your heart, like we're doing right now, you connect to other people's hearts. Not because the message is perfect, not because the message is perfect, it's because it's pure. And people are connected to what's pure. They can feel it. I wish I had a definition of that type of energy. I don't. Maybe it's somebody can text it to me. But I know when you come from a place that's pure, it connects to people. So number one, okay, stop being connected to comparison and connect to your clarity. Connect to your greatness. Connect to your mission. Connect to what's real for you. Number two, okay, stay locked in with me, y'all. Number two, another reason why you might not be successful. And some of y'all might exit the podcast episode right now. Some of y'all might leave because I might be pulling on your heartstrings and stepping on your toes. I've been here too. It's because you're addicted to average. Now, Trent, not me. I'm not addicted to average. I go hard. I do this. You're addicted to average. And when you're addicted to average, you will never live in greatness. This is facts. An average tree doesn't bear legendary fruit. Quote that. An average tree doesn't bear legendary fruit. When you do average things, you'll get average results. And the problem is a lot of us think we can just go through the motions. We can do what everybody else is doing and expect to get what few got. It doesn't work like that. Some of you are treating your dreams like a hobby. You just showing up, doing the bare minimum, and you expecting maximum results. You're just showing up. It takes more than just showing up. You have to show out. You show out by being connected to what's real. You show out by doing more than what's required. Because this is the truth. If you're only doing, why are you, let me slow down with this, because I want to really get this clear. If you're only doing what's required, why are you expecting to acquire greatness? Doing what's required doesn't help you acquire greatness. Doing what's required keeps you average. Doing what's required makes you part of the status quo. Doing what's required makes you blend in. Doing what's required just makes you a part of the crowd. Everybody's doing what's required. I tell the kids that I told Tristan the other day, I said, bro, you got to do more. If you just doing what everybody else doing, you're lifting the same weights, you're doing the same practices, you're not doing what's more, you're going to get what everybody else got. And that's the problem. A lot of us, we're oblivious to that. We think that if we do what everybody else is doing, we expect to separate ourselves. You want to separate yourselves. You got to be doing something different. You want to make a difference and be different. You have to do what's different. You have to be different. You got to separate yourself. But what a lot of us do is that we stay in average. We stay doing the same things. You know, I had a conversation with one of my friends the other day. And don't take this wrong. I said, you are expecting decade results from days work. You're expecting, and a lot of people are like this on social media, you're expecting to get what the person that's been doing it for decades or years. You expecting to get what they got when you can't even be consistent for days. You can't even be consistent for months. You just started and you expected, oh, I should be where they at. When they didn't put in 13 years, you barely put in 13 days. And you expecting to get what they got. It don't make sense, but a lot of our mindsets are like that. This took decades of consistency, day in and day out. Addicted to consistency. Some of you are addicted to average. Be addicted to consistency. And tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to do more than what's required. I'm going to stay pure to what's real for me. And I'm going to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Yes, I might have to make some adjustments, change some things up, but I'm going to keep showing up and showing out over and over until I become that go-to person. When it comes to realness, y'all know who to go to, me. When it comes to connecting you to your power, to your purpose, to your peace, y'all know who to go to for me because I've been doing it for the last 13 years. So why are you expecting to get a decade's worth of results from just days' work? Why are you jealous and envious of the person that got it when you ain't doing nothing to get it? And I'm not trying to be arrogant or conceited, but I tell people all the time, bro, you just started, you doing less than me, and you expect to get to this level? When I'm 13 years ahead of you, and you off and on, you inconsistent, you quit, you're doing this one day, doing something the other day, and you expect to get here? You addicted to the wrong things, my dog. So, time for you to get addicted to consistency. Get addicted to different. Right? Get hungry for that. Get addicted to greatness, not average. Because you can't expect full-time results, excuse my French, mama, from a half-ass effort. And some of us, that's what we do. And then we get mad when it don't happen. We blame everybody else. It's the coach's fault. It's this person's fault. When you're sitting there going through the motions and not doing nothing extra. Because it probably is not real to you. Yeah, you might say the dream is real online, but offline is probably not real to you. It's probably not real in your heart because every time adversity show up, you throw in the towel. Every time a struggle shows up, you move to something different because it's not real to you. You are interested, you're not committed in it. You're interested. And when you're interested, you see how it's going to go. If it don't go your way, you move on to something nothing. Some of you are professional quitters, and I know that hurts to hear that. But I need you to turn into a professional finisher. It's time for you to finish. Stop living a life full of incompletion. Complete something. Damn. Complete something. Stay loyal to something. Follow through on something. Stay consistent and committed to something. Because when you do, you're teaching yourself to push through. Quit tomorrow. And just keep telling yourself that I'll quit tomorrow. I'll quit tomorrow. And when today becomes tomorrow and vice versa, quit tomorrow. But don't quit today. Be consistent, okay? So number 2, a lot of people aren't successful because you're addicted to average. I need y'all to share this stuff, man. Find somebody right now, share this because I know the world needs to hear it. I'm fired up. I'm fired up right now. Last but not least, number 3, and this is straight factos. Straight factos. The reason why a lot of people aren't successful. And I'm not talking about this from a religion standpoint, y'all, even though that's a major part, I feel like, with spirituality. I'm just talking about this from a logical human experience, man. A lot of people aren't successful because they have no faith. They have no faith in what they're doing. They have no faith in themselves. They have no faith in the vision. They have no faith in the mission. Yeah, they type about it, they post quotes about it. But again, when it gets real, what's not real for them gets exposed. If you have no faith, you're never going to be successful. If you're dependent on external things to let you know this is right for your life, you're not going to be successful, especially when you're first starting. There was nothing that said this was right for my life. Nothing externally said this is right for my life, but inside I knew it was right for my life. And I held on to that. My faith held on to that. I didn't need to see support. I didn't need to see results. I didn't need to see people follow me. I didn't need to see people download my podcast. I didn't need to see people, celebrate. I didn't need to see that because I already saw it. I already knew it. Despite what the outside world was telling me, I know what God had already showed me. I had faith even when I should have been faithless. I knew it was possible even when all I saw was impossibilities that showed up. And I stayed down. I kept 10 toes down. I stayed down to my mission. I stayed loyal to my vision no matter what. But what a lot of us do, we need to see it. We need tangible evidence. We need the people saying that we're great before we believe that we're great. We need people to say, oh man, you're doing a great job and you believe, and I believe. We need the external validation for us to believe in ourselves. When you already been validated, you need these external things to believe in you. Is that true belief? If you need somebody else to confirm your belief, to stroke your belief, right? To caress your belief, to coddle your belief, is that really belief? Belief should work off of two things: you and God, you and your heart, you and your knowing, you and your intuition, you and your discernment. It should work off of that, not other people. But a lot of us, we go out in the world and we look for validation. And oftentimes what we find is things that discredit what we're doing. Oftentimes we find opinions that tell us that we're stupid and we shouldn't do that. Like opinions told me, but the opinions weren't my truth. I knew my truth. So even when it was true to them, it wasn't true for me. And I kept fighting. I kept pushing through it. So if you want to be successful, you got to wake up and you got to have faith despite the odds. You got faith despite the judgment. You know, some of us don't even give our gift to the world, don't even go try it. We stay addicted to average because we're so afraid of judgment. We are already like seeing somebody's prejudgment before we even put anything out. You got to put something out for somebody to judge it. But your truth is your truth. And they judge it, they love it or not, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to give what's in your heart to the world. What's burning in your soul is to answer that call that's been ringing on your soul so long, and you've been ignoring and sending it to voicemail, finding excuses. That's your responsibility, is to give that to the world, my friend. The judgment's going to happen. People going to love it. People going to hate it. There's 7 billion people in this world. You think everybody going to like you? Jesus couldn't even accomplish that. You think everybody going to like you? And that's why you haven't really walked into it, because you're afraid of what people going to say. People are saying something about you anyway. So when are you going to stop listening to the external dialogue and start listening to your internal dialogue that's telling you to go for it and actually have that faith? And I know I'm coming to you with a lot of passion and heart. It's because I know it's in you. And more importantly, you know that it's in you. Look around. Right? If you're not happy with where you're at in life, and I understand circumstances happen, y'all. I get it. Hard times happen. But look around. Is this where you're going to choose to stay at? Because that's always a choice. You might not can control what happened to you, but you are for sure in control of what you do with what happens to you. We make this life hard. We make this life hard by trying to be something that we're not. Trying to fit in, trying to be something we're not, trying to shortcut our way, trying to cheat the process instead of trust the process. We make this life hard. It's hard trying to be something that you're not. It's hard trying to be what's not pure. It's hard trying to keep up with people's perception of you. It's hard. A lot of us go broke doing that because we care so much about people's perception of us that we ignore the reality of who we truly are. It's hard. That's why you're drained. That's why you're tired, trying to keep up with what you ain't meant to keep up with. But then, it's easy when you're doing what's pure and what's real. I tell people that speak all the time that I'm coaching, it's a lot easier when you're speaking from the heart. It's a lot easier when you're telling your story. It's a lot easier when you're doing those things. A lot. It's easy when you're doing that because you're doing what's pure. I'm going to leave you with this. Do not become an unloyal gardener. I believe in planting seeds. I believe in we're all gardeners of life. I believe we have these gardens, but a lot of us, what we do is we plant these seeds and we don't take care of these seeds. We don't nourish these seeds. We don't water these seeds. We don't take care of it. And when we don't see things happening because we don't have faith, we don't see things happening on top of the surface. We've been putting in days of work. We don't see things happening. We're comparing our lives to the person who put in decades. They got everything. We don't got that because we're doing the same thing as they do. We ain't got it. We move on to the next garden. We leave those seeds. We don't take care of those seeds. Those seeds just stay there. And we move on to the next garden. You know what happens? A lot of times somebody else comes and water your seed that was meant for your life. And they benefit off the harvest that was meant for you. And we spend our whole entire life doing that. Planting seeds, but not seeing those seeds through. I challenge every one of you listening to me, looking at me right now, to stay loyal to finish it. To stay loyal to your garden. And I'm not saying you can't have multiple gardens, but I want you to At least produce a harvest in one, so that harvest can be plentiful for you, so you can take that harvest to that next garden and make it a little bit easier for you and better for you. You have more confidence. But if you quit every time, you move on every time, it's always something different every time. People don't know what to come to you for. And more importantly, you lose who you truly are. You look in the mirror, you don't recognize yourself because you lost yourself trying to please everybody else. You lost yourself in comparison. You lost yourself in average. You lost yourself in confusion. It's time for you to come back home to yourself. It's time for you to connect to your clarity. It's time for you to connect to your greatness. And it's time for you to have faith, my friend. But like I say at the end of every single episode, it all starts with you. Stop watching these people online, including myself, and thinking that success, greatness is just available to certain people. Oftentimes, those certain people did what most people didn't do. And that thing, more than anything, is they were consistent at staying pure to what was real for them. Let's go get it. It's rehab time. Straight up. Share this with somebody if it's on your heart to. If you got anything from this, please share it with somebody. Because I believe that this is one of these messages that can change a life. And hopefully it helped change yours today. Talk to you soon.